Anyway, welcome to the Double D Experience. That
terrible
horrible quip aside that I'm absolutely cutting out of the video.
That was a terrible hypothetical.
Yeah, that I'm absolutely... Dude, that idea got so shitty so fast, because I'm like, wow, like, everybody would just be ripped, because they would just eat a little bit of protein.
If it was anywhere on, like, a graph, it was, like, plateauing for, like, 2 seconds until it just decided to plummet straight down.
That's like a guy in the boardroom who goes like, all right, guys, here's it. Computers. What if they were in charge?
What if AI took over the world? Oh my god! Oh, give him a $10 billion kajillion dollars. Give him that movie.
Is that what Zaslav is gonna put out when all his fucking writers quit?
I mean,
is that when he has to write the shit himself for a change?
I mean, at this point, it's like Hollywood gonna need their own military grade, like Skynet robot to like build their shit.
I heard about this. The VFX artists actually. This is actually a good topic. Fuck. The VFX artists for Marvel are going on strike.
Although, to be fair, like, VFX artists and even, like, guys in the writing room, they're not that far off from each other. Like, it's just, they're still the rank and file at the end of the day.
No,
like,
but for Marvel, the VFX artist, that's, like, among the most important jobs for that shit. Because it's all visual effects.
Aren't they Industrial Light and Magic?
What do you mean?
Like Marvel's VFX like guys, because I know Disney bought out Industrial Light and Magic, so I'm like, and like, you know, Disney makes
they voted to unionize. Yeah,
Industrial Light and Magic.
Nah, I don't think so. It says, here we go. Marvel Studios visual effects workers vote to unionize. More than 50 workers at Marvel Studios in LA, New York, and Atlanta have signed authorization cards to be represented by the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, or the IATSE. So they're not striking yet, but they did just have a vote to unionize.
And they're getting their cards now.
Yes, and let me see if they updated this story, because I think the vote might have gone through. Like, I think they got it.
Okay.
Imagine if they don't get.
That's good for them.
Imagine if they don't get it and they're like, "All right, who are the scabs?"
That, or
who the fuck?
I could even imagine like them just getting fired en masse by Marvel. That has happened. Not by Marvel, but Amazon's done that. Where like, oh, you guys unionize, great. By the way, you're all fired.
And replaced with AI.
And in place with AI, yeah, like all our little drones, they're gonna take your jobs.
It's gonna deliver David's standing desk.
So it's because unlike you, they don't ask for higher pay. So, you know, they're much more easier to work with. So,
or, you know, pay.
So, bye, because we don't pay them.
Bye,
Ain't that great? I mean, well, there's still like upkeep to like kind of fix the damn fuckers, but it's just like, yeah, for the most part, it's like, we're not paying you a wage. What?
Dude, this is just making me sad though. Like, now we're not gonna get another. Now we're not gonna get another season of She-Hulk.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right.
Oh,
that was my favorite show.
Oh, the Marvels and the sequel to the
Oh, nothing gets me more horny than Big Green Woman. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. I'm gonna go on X and tweet about it.
An X about it.
An X about it.
You didn't
Bob
see
Iger, return to us, please.
Please.
Why won't you come back to us?
We can't talk about Barbie because you haven't seen Barbie yet.
Yes, but all I've heard is that box office-wise, it be on a fucking fiery winning streak right now.
Yeah, it shat on Oppenheimer, which I'm not surprised.
To be fair, though, the better movie was Oppenheimer. That is undisputed. It's just it. Wait, hold on. But in terms of box office, that also cannot be denied. And David has a very he's just like horny to tell me his contrary thoughts to what I just said. Here's the thing. I'm only saying it just because I haven't watched it yet. My sister literally went to go watch it today. So, I mean, I guess I'll hear her thoughts on it, but again, I'm only saying this off of the fact that I only have watched Big Boom Man. I have not watched Plastic Woman yet. So, take that as you will. And I have my own biases, obviously. Mm-hmm. Barbie was not my first choice of the two to go watch. But
gee, what's the historian gonna go see?
I mean, to be fair, I think Barbie has its own like significance in our history as well.
Oh yeah.
So can't deny that. Just saying that it again wasn't my first choice.
You
can't. I can't. I cannot Ryan Gosling. But, okay, David, go ahead. Tell us your thoughts.
I liked Barbie better.
Fuck you.
I did. I liked it more. I'm sorry.
How? Okay, let me ask. You could spoil it for me too. Okay, guys. Also, ahead of time, if you have not watched it yet, and if you're planning to watch it today, because this is gonna be coming out on a Friday, if you plan on going watching it tonight, save watching this until after you come back, because you've been warned. Just letting you know. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, David, go ahead.
Okay.
Say your thoughts. Your THOTS.
That movie had a lot of thoughts.
Oh, actually?
No, I'm just being a dick.
Oh, I thought you were calling Margot Robbie a thought, which I mean,
no, but what I want to talk about though, as well. For something that can oh my god, this was getting on my nerves today. Have you seen all those fucking tweets? I mean, you're not on Twitter, obviously, but you haven't seen all those fucking my bad. Yeah, those X's. Have you ever seen all those X's of there's so many people, so many fragile ass manlets who got just so salty because of this movie. Mm-hmm. Not only to the point where they're calling it anti-man, which it's not, and I will explain why it's not later.
Okay. Also, make sure when you go ahead and explain it, be as spoiler heavy as you possibly want to.
Yeah. I mean, I know you don't care that much, really, so.
I'm still gonna go watch it.
Okay.
But yeah,
People were calling Margot Robbie mid.
Mid as a...
Her looks.
Mid? Oh, as in attractiveness.
Yes. What do you think?
Of her? On a scale of 1 to 10? This is me being as crass as possibly, as I possibly can. She's an 8.5. I think she's pretty. I'm not denying. I don't know.
Do you at least think she's conventionally attractive, right?
Conventionally attractive?
The kind of stereotypical attractive
woman.
Oh,
so Barbie level of pretty.
The fucking reason why they casted her as Barbie.
A Barbie level of pretty, you mean?
Yes, right? You don't have a girlfriend. Margot Robbie walks in your room right now.
I mean, I wouldn't say no if that was the circumstance, but
case closed.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Other than that, yeah, it's just as far as if we're talking objectively, yeah, she's pretty.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can at least say that. Because I can understand not all women being your cup of tea. I get that. Yeah. Margot Robbie's not my dream girl by any stretch of the imagination, but from a conventional standpoint, I would absolutely give her a look, and she is the kind of woman who, if I had an intimate conversation with, I would absolutely ask her out. I'd be you're good, you're clearly attractive.
I want to fuck you.
Exactly, basically. So
we'll see where we go from there.
Manlets online now who are so salty at the messages of this movie, who are so pissed at being the 1 in 4 men who is a virgin between the ages of 20 and 30, that they're calling her mid. As far as her appearance goes. And this is not some... I've seen, manlets online do this plenty of times, where they start posting pictures of women without, their filters and without makeup and shit that.
Yeah.
And they posted a picture of Margot Robbie without makeup, a selfie of her. And she still looked fucking gorgeous. And, you're telling me that if that woman ever found her, accidental way into your slimy-ass basement, that you would say no? You fucking wouldn't. I'm just saying that right now. The reason I'm bringing this up is not even just because of the movie. I'm saying this because, oh, shut up. Whoa, shut up. What is wrong with your phone? Jeez.
We're going to get copyright striked.
They're comparing her natural face with no makeup and dim lighting to the fucking Instagram models that they worship and see with a bunch of makeup and surgery and fucking
and
ring
filters.
Lighting and the mountains of filters that they have. This is what I always tell my boys.
Well, Photoshop in general, though. They're all Photoshopped.
There's 2 rules. Never date a smash girl. And never fall in love with an Instagram filter.
Not even the girl, the filter.
Yeah. It's you're just degrading women that you don't have access to. Because she was even beautiful without makeup. This I kind of blame porn depravity, Dennis. Because I think men have like such unrealistic ass standards for women now. Not only that, but they only get turned on or turned on more by their specific fetishes because every man on the planet now has access to whatever specific kink that they want, and then that kink will be the only thing that gets them off. So a nice, normal, conventional woman to represent, Barbie, a doll that it was made to literally represent a woman.
White woman, particularly. That was, at least historically, that was like the main thing. There was no like colored Barbie until like way later.
Yeah, in the movie there is, of course. Like the whole shtick is that like in Barbie Land, all the women are Barbie. They're all named Barbie, and all the men are Kens. They're all named Ken, basically, and they all look different. There's an
Gosling.
Asian Ken. The Asian Ken is one of the main ones. Yeah,
there's a
he kind of looked like you, but like better looking. Nothing.
But I look better than the Asian Ken.
That's the opposite of what I just said.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people would disagree, and I don't give a fuck about their opinions.
Dennis, that's the opposite of what I just said.
David,
I said the Asian Ken looked like a better...
I choose to not hear what you just said, and I choose to hear the opposite. Okay. So there you go.
Okay.
Continue, please. Tell me how I am more handsome than the Asian Ken.
Anyway. I'm just saying, man, like, I just feel like, and I'm judging this based on this YouTube comment that I saw, like, I feel like if you're not allowed in a school zone, you should not be calling Margot Robbie mid. Like, if she's a 7, what the fuck am I? Come on!
Okay, listen. I'm not, by any means, giving credence to anything these guys are saying, because as you said, you're right. They're fucking smelly basement dwellers. Good chunk of them. And none of those people's opinions like really matter in the grand scheme of things. Honestly, Margot Robbie's not losing sleep over this. She don't give a fuck. She knows like I could be bi and probably fuck like hotter bitches than you ever will. Like easily. I could see Margot Robbie being bi, like easily. But
noted.
But I don't know, like, at least as far as, like, people's preferences go. Like, I know, like, people may sound harsh when it comes to it, but it's like, I've heard people objectively say, like, just, not even in, like, I mean, that's the thing. These guys are just here to be mean. But, we've heard, like, you and I, we told our biases, like, of what, like, we're into and shit.
Yeah.
And, like, we just kind of say, we're just not into it. And, like, that's it.
Oh, yeah. Margot Robbie is not my dream woman.
Yeah.
But, like, I would
for some
absolutely...
For some people, she is, because every generation, there's always, like, the hot blonde that, like, we all, like, that Hollywood or somebody always, like, tries to push.
Yeah.
And Margot Robbie is this decade's hot blonde, because years ago, it was Britney Spears. Like, easily. Like, she was, like, the blonde that everyone knew.
Britney Spears,
everyone
Jessica
was listening
Simpson.
to.
Yeah.
Jessica Simpson was a little had a lot less time in the limelight than Britney did, because Britney did have a music career. Nobody really knew what Jessica Simpson was doing.
Yeah, and also there was Pamela Anderson. I remember she was
Pamela Anderson,
the 80s,
of course,
90s, whenever the fuck it was, Madonna, all that shit. I'm just saying, man, that's pretty much all the extent I had to say about Margot Robbie's attractiveness. I just think the reason I'm bringing it up is because I'm correlating it to what I took from the movie. Which
okay.
I think you will love and hate it, if I'm being honest, because I'm correlating the fact that the like very fragile men have their opinions about this movie, and the reason I'm saying that is because like you will love it in the sense that the movie is pure absurdism. It's pure absurdist human.
I love that already.
Pure absurdist human. Like the movie takes place. It starts in Barbie Land, and it's like this feminist utopia where they live in a matriarchy. Like, the women run everything, and the Kens are second-class citizens.
Yeah.
Basically. And, they act like dolls because they are dolls. Like, she takes sips of, like, drinks that aren't there and stuff. She goes to her fridge, and it's plastic. Aesthetically, it was an insanely pleasing movie. Not just because of the colors, but because of the sets.
The trailer alone was just so, like, visually pleasing. I thought, like, at the very least, I'm glad they, like, nailed the whole, like, Mattel, like, plastic toy, like, kind of aesthetics. Because, like, I have, like, at least... Say what you want about, like, Barbie's toys. Like, not that, like, me and David ever played with Barbies. But, like, at the very least, it's, like, as far as, like, design went, they got the colors right all the time. Like, I have never seen, like, a boring Barbie anything It was always bright as fuck, a little obnoxious maybe to a certain extent, but like every time you saw like a Barbie doll or a Barbie set or like a Barbie dollhouse or something, it was always at least like colors wise, like you always knew like they nailed it. They just knew like how to like design. But I'm also glad that they translated that over into the movie because again, saying as a guy that did not watch it yet, but off of the trailer alone, I'm glad that they at least nailed that aesthetic because it's like that was Barbie's whole shtick for like years. Yeah. I don't know how many girls who are buying Barbie nowadays, but it's like you can't deny that like they knew what the fuck they were doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, continue.
No, you're good. Don't worry. I guess this isn't really a spoiler, more as it's like a quip or a joke. But like the whole movie like introduces the world perfectly, shows what it's like through the actions of Barbie and everything, like beautiful world building and whatnot. It's part of the reason I liked it better than Oppenheimer, because just completely different movies, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's like a scene where they're all like they're having a choreographed dance because like even at a normal ass party that everybody goes to, of course there's perfect choreography. Like it's pure like feminist absurdism. Like there's like so womanly to the point where like even women are making fun of this shit. Like this is fucking ridiculous. And the movie knows it. It knows it's fucking stupid. That's the best part. It fucking knows that. And so they're all dancing and eventually Barbie just says in the middle of it, it's like, hey, do you guys ever think about dying? And the music drops, and they all just stare at her like, what the fuck? And they're like, I mean, dancing, party, yay.
Everybody just goes back to dancing.
Everybody goes back to dancing, right? And so beyond the absurdism, which is great, also Will Ferrell is in this movie. He's the CEO of Mattel.
Oh, really?
He plays the CEO of Mattel, which is, you ever see that meme? Like, oh, if I had a nickel for every time Will Ferrell played the CEO of a toy company and like the movie versions of those toys, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Has it happened twice now?
He played the CEO of Lego in the fucking Lego movie.
Oh, what? I actually never saw that movie, so
the Lego movie's great.
Fucking hell.
Proof that Chris Pratt was a good voice actor before the Mario movie also helped, show that.
True.
So, I guess without getting like, I mean, this is sort of like spoilery, I suppose. I mean, there's a lot to the movie. It's very weird. Like they go to the real world and Barbie's like searching for like her like player
Purpose?
or her like her girl that was playing with her that's sad.
Okay.
Because it translated to her being sad, basically. And there's a lot of like twists and turns in it as well. Like Ken discovers that men rule in the real world, and so he brings the patriarchy back to Barbie Land and takes it over. And then the women all start serving them and shit in like maid outfits. It's insane. You're gonna love it, for sure. And then they fix the patriarchy and stuff like that, and like it gets really feministy, which is where you're fucking I guess you're who's that guy that with the really big tits sister, the pissed off conservative dude.
Oh, Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro, yeah. When Ben Shapiro was like, this movie is, I hate woke movies, blah, blah, blah. Because they start talking about, they start, women's issues and stuff like that. And Barbie, being the literal plastic bitch that she is, knows nothing about it. Like a literal plastic. And then she learns about it and stuff. It's a really cool take on like actual like issues and stuff. And it talks about what it's really like to be a woman. To the point where even I was in the audience watching it. And it was good feminist talk because I was confused as fuck. As a man. But
as a man, we have no idea what y'all feminists are ever talking about. We just don't know. It goes in one ear out the other. Sorry.
It goes eventually, right? So I guess this is a little spoilery. Like I'll try to conclude my thought. Yeah, we're kidding, by the way. I'll conclude about it here, I guess. Ken is like obsessed with Barbie. Like he's trying to like he wants to.
Well, Ryan Gosling's Ken, right? You mean?
Yeah, Ryan Gosling's Ken, like the main Ken is what I'm saying, and he wants to be with her. The whole reason he brings the patriarchy back is because he's sick of Barbie always ditching him for like girls' night and stuff like that. Because every night is girls' night in Barbie Land, and like he feels neglected, and so he does the same thing to her because hurt people, and so eventually towards the end of the movie, when all's well that ends well, he keeps trying to kiss her, and it's supposed to be like the big romantic kiss at the end, but she doesn't love him, so she's like, no, blah, blah, blah. But the movie, this is what it does, right? It's revealed that the whole reason, I guess this is spoilery if you care. I'll say it. A big reason he wants to be with her is because she's Barbie, and I'm Ken. You're the star. Like, you're the toy. Like, I was quite literally made for you.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit about Ken. Without you, I'm nothing.
Yeah.
And so he's like literally bowing to her and shit. And instead, after Barbie learns about feminism and all this stuff, she doesn't just like toxically feed into him anymore. She says, no, you're enough. You're enough being who you are. You shouldn't be with me for the sake of being with me. You know what I mean?
Because the toy company said so.
Because the toy company said so, or in the case, though, society. Whoa, deep allegory there, you know. So that's where the shirt that he wears, it says, I am Kenough, comes from. Where it says, I am Kenough. Yeah, very, very well done.
There's a lot of things about, even before I go to see this movie, there was so many things about it that like just kind of went over my head. And like I knew, there was one thing I remember reading was that Ryan fucking literally lashed out at people saying that like none of y'all ever gave a shit about Ken until this movie came out. So I don't want to hear, like, basically saying like nobody knows more about Ken than I do, and basically telling everyone to go fuck themselves. Who was like criticizing, like, I guess, I don't know, like Ken in the movie or whatever. Like, but I don't know, it was so funny because like Ryan like actually got legitimately angry, and it was like actually like really funny to see like a guy like him who, for the most part, you think if you were friends with him, he just seems like a pretty chill guy. He just like he's
one of my favorite actors.
Oh no, yeah, like I think he and Leo is like kind of up there for me. I think only just because of recently, but like Ryan's definitely up there too, and like the guy like at the very least he's been in like every genre imaginable.
My favorite movie stars him.
Yeah.
In the Nice Guys, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. As that 70s comedy noir movie. It's a good ass movie. We gotta watch it one day. You'll love it.
My favorite was him in The Notebook when like the what was it? The main girl is being really fucking annoying, and like he's just like telling her like just simply in simple English, just like, what do you want? And she's just like blathering on for like 5 minutes, like not even getting a single sentence out. He's just like, what do you want? And she's like, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. He's just like,
that was like his breakout role, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And
that was the movie that made every woman in America fall in love with him.
Nothing is also more relatable for a dude than that scene. What do you want? It's such a simple fucking question, but
I can't disagree with that.
The way he could like just kind of conveys that like frustration is so palpable. It's hilarious every time I watch it, because anyone who's been in a relationship has been Ryan in that scene like at least once in their life. We've all felt that way. It's like, what, like, whether it be like life, right? What do you want out of life? What do you want for dinner? What do you want like to like, as like, okay, you bought clothes. Like, which one do you want to? Like,
what do you want me to do in bed tonight?
Yeah, it's
like, I'll do the freaky dicky shit. Like, what
do you want? It is the most like, again. I'll say
he gave something to the men watching that movie who like were there with their girls, like going to see the rom-com. He gave something to the men watching it. I'm surprised there are probably people in the audience when The Notebook first dropped. And they were like, "Yo, amen, bro."
And like, you know, everyone kind of also thought like, I've always heard like, at least anytime I ask like a couple guys like, you know, not like about Ryan Gosling, but like whenever like there is a movie that I've talked about that they say like, oh yo, Ryan Gosling was in that thing, I love Ryan Gosling. It's always just like that. Like it's just like, yo, Ryan Gosling's all right.
Yeah.
Like, and because also, even though Ryan has been kind of called like the most handsome man in Hollywood at one point.
Yeah.
Not disrespecting him at all, but he is handsome. Give him that, sure, of course. But it's just, he looks like the most unassuming guy also. He looks like he would like kind of step out if something was getting a little too heated, you know? He would kind of leave the room because he doesn't want to be anywhere near that. And for the most part, at least, like, I have never heard any scandals come out of him, like, period. If we're just talking about regular tabloid shit, at least. Like, okay, yeah, Hollywood divorces happen here and there, of course, right? But as far as he goes, he just seems like he's like, I do my job. I love to act, and I like to enjoy life, and that's about it. Like,
probably another reason he got cast as Barbie. Like, who's the most unassuming dude we know? One who can just be, like, fucking clueless if we wanted. Who is the most unassuming guy we know, but also who is also, like, classically handsome?
Because we can't get Leo for this shit. Leo's too old.
You see what I mean? What though? Like, it's so much easier for men to say that Ryan Gosling is conventionally handsome than to say that Margot Robbie is conventionally attractive. Do you realize how fucked up that is?
I don't disagree.
Do you get what I'm saying
No, I don't disagree. But truthfully...
There's a problem!
No, there is a problem. I do agree with you. There is a problem. And it all stems from women. I'm joking.
It does, though, because porn, which counts as women, but it's not their fault.
No, exactly. That's just the industry.
Fucking A.
But here's the thing. Like, one thing that I've kind of learned in life is that, yes, it's easy to hate the industry, but you have to hate the consumers. You have to hate them. Because, again, you, like, the way I'm at least I've kind of thought about it in my head once was that, like, because, yeah, the industry is, of course, like, just this giant. It's like, you can't touch it at all. Like, it's, like, just too big to fail. Plus, it's like, you know, because that it is, like, this, like, a towering entity that we know it as, what can we do against it, right? But people forget that, you know, y'all still have a choice in the end. Like, wow, like, you know, I mean, like, not that I'm saying, like, oh, yeah, like, digesting absurd amounts of porn is okay. It's not. But, again, like, you know, the way at least, like, people who fight drug addictions, like, it's the same sort of thing. Not saying that, oh, porn addictions and drug addictions are the same fucking thing, but at the very least, it's like, trying to at least make an effort, that's your choice. Trying, or on the flip side, you digesting that much porn is your choice. And it's also the reason why that, like, you know, we have so many, like, fucked up people now, because fucked up as in, like, I guess, like, not that, like, they're need to be put into, like, a mental institution, but, like, fucked up in that, like, you know, our sort of, like, I don't know how do you say, like, our perceptions have been warped so much because of, like, the accessibility that porn has nowadays. And, like, and of course, I'm not gonna deny that, like, I don't, like, fucking rub one out every now and then off of porn. Who the fuck doesn't? But, like, I think at least for a lot of guys, there isn't that disconnect, though. It's not, like, because I just view it like, yes, one, it's hot, but two, it's just like, and then, like, I just move on with my day.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you know, I don't see it past, like, other than a means to an end.
Yeah.
And,
Same.
like, you know, just, like, that's the thing. It's a tool in the end, but that's why it's, you know, always terrible when, let's say, it's not a tool no more, and it becomes, let's say, not something you rely on per se, but, like, let's just say, like, something you just consume too much of. And obviously, you know, consuming too much of anything is bad for you. And it goes the same way either if you were eating too many bananas or watching too much porn. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah. It is a choice. That's a good way to frame it, because, like, you know, a lot of the things that change our perceptions do come from those. But there comes a point where it's not a physical choice anymore, where people do become addicted to it. I'll keep it a stack with you. I jacked off like 6 times the other day.
Okay.
Half of it was to see if I could.
I mean, after the first 3 times, like, did you really need more confirmation?
Yeah. Not even my record. I don't think it's my record. If I'm being honest, I think my record might be 7.
So your dick didn't go...
No. It actually didn't. I don't know if I'm just, like, expeditiously...
Maybe you might be backed up a bit.
I might. Maybe I'm just expeditiously horny. It's one of my favorite lines from the Venture Brothers, like the Brock says. He's like, I once jacked off 12 times in a single day just to see if I could. One of my favorite lines.
No, looking at Brock, too, it looks as if he, like, snapped his dick off, like, after the first time.
Brock is, like, literally too much of a fucking ridiculous Giga Chad. Like, for anyone's own good.
Really, like, just, like, being around him in the same room, like, you feel, like, the air change a bit when he walks in.
Also, literally, because he smokes. So, like,
you'll feel that as well.
But anyway, I'm bringing that up because, like, the porn consumption can change, like, your perspective of this, the Margot Robbie mid thing, because there's also people who are probably pissed at the ending. Because Ken and Barbie do not wind up together. It's a very, very, very different ending to the movie, which I felt like was way cooler and way more appropriate, right? So, but the whole shtick is that he felt like people are saying this movie is anti-man. And how is the message that Ken doesn't need to be with someone for the sake of being with somebody, that he needs a woman to complete him as a person, anti-man? It's the complete opposite. It's saying that you are a man, and you being yourself as a man is
comes
enough.
first. Yeah, and it also comes first as well.
The whole reason he acts like a douchebag and, like, tries to get back at Barbie is because he didn't get what he wanted, and he just felt like Barbie was, like,
sets up a
throwing him under
patriarchy.
the bus or treating, and sets up a patriarchy once he learns what patriarchy is. Kinda based, not gonna lie. I'm kidding.
Will this have her notice me? Will me literally subjugating all the women in this plastic world, like, finally get her to notice me?
Barbie's house. He kicks her out of her own fucking house and turns it into the Ken cave. It's ridiculous. I love it. And so it ends, everything gets made up, and, like, I don't know, you just have to be a certain type of fucking brainlet to, like, take the message of, you are enough, Ken. Like, Ken is enough, and we are all Ken. Like, we all feel like we're not enough sometimes. That's what me and Dennis were talking about early on before we even started recording, about being enough and, like, where we are in life and shit like that. And the whole point what Barbie was telling him is that you are enough without me. You don't need me to complete you, and that's not a good reason to be with somebody.
Also, I don't like you.
Like, yeah, also, I don't like you. Just because I'm supposed to like you. Fuck off. Go fuck off with your non-existent genitals.
Like, honestly, like, it just breaking it down, it's like all it comes down to as well. It's like two things. We don't
you understand you have to be a certain type of brainlet or like a certain level of emotional immaturity to take that message as we hate men, anti-men. How? Just because he doesn't get to fuck her? They don't even have genitals, you fucking moron.
Is there like scenes where like they like pull up their pants and just go like, oh?
No, they don't pull up their pants, but they don't have genitals. That's just a rule. Like they are like the physical personifications of dolls.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a Toy Story type thing?
Yeah, kind of. Like Barbie goes to the real world and Ken's with her and she's getting catcalled and like some guy slaps her ass and everything. And then like she just goes on this big speech to them. It's like, excuse me, gentlemen, I very much hate to regret to inform you, but you are wasting your time. I do not have genitals. And she just says it in front of all of them.
Can I ask? Hypothetical.
Yeah.
You met a girl, right? She's like, hold on. No. Because I'm thinking about this too. I'm really wondering like where your head is at with this. Because if it would happen.
Indulge me. Enlighten me with this question.
I'm gonna indulge you. Okay? This is a great hypothetical. It's better than the one that you had. Miles better. But let's say you met a girl, right? I'm better. I am better. Damn, Anthony Starr should have been a Ken. That'd have been great.
He's too busy voicing Homelander in Mortal Kombat.
And also The Boys.
Whatever. Who cares about that?
The Boys is... Fuck you. You didn't even watch the show. You can't even say that. But okay, hypothetical.
Yes.
Met this girl. She's hot AF. She's got the big bazongas, the big buttocks, and the big DSL lips. You even know what DSL is? Dick sucking lips.
I know what it meant.
Okay, she has the big DSL dick sucking lips. And
which, no disrespect to Margot Robbie, that's another reason she's super hot, because she also she has those lips. She does.
Okay, so
I mean that as respectfully as I can, and I mean that wholeheartedly.
Oh, who cares? Like Margot Robbie's not gonna care. Margot Robbie's not gonna care. She's not gonna watch this.
She's gonna be like, wow, this horny fuck on the Double D experience.
With like 12 views on the podcast.
What a loser.
But she's not even... Wait, no, she's Australian. What the fuck am I talking about?
She's an Aussie? I thought she was
Aussie,
British.
yeah.
That's why I was doing British.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's an Aussie, yeah.
Okay,
but,
so I would instead do my shitty Australian as opposed to my shitty British
Yes,
voice.
and I'm sure that'll just go great with her. But...
So then, I'll tell you in this fucking movie...
Hold up.
I'll tell you in this fucking movie, Dennis, she didn't have anything down under.
You meet this girl, right? You meet her... You just hitting it off. It's going great. Like
big bazongas, like, DSL, the asshole,
everything.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. And then when, let's say, one night comes, right? And like you guys have already been on a couple dates and you've been respectful. You don't want to like just go to sex like immediately. You just like, let's go on some dates. I'm being patient right here. Like, I'm just enjoying your time, like our time right now.
Yeah.
And then let's say one night, you go to drop her off at her house again, right? And like things are getting hot and heavy at the door. Like, it was like a fucking it was a great date. Like, it was just and like, you've been wanting a finger banger all fucking month because like, hold up. And like, you just like, it's just like, you think, okay, I think we've gone past that like second base and we can go to the third base now, right? And like, you just reach down or you ask for consent. It's just like, it's like, hey, like, I don't know, even asking like that is so weird. But like, these things are getting crazy, right? Like, y'all just like all over each other and your hand slips down and you feel nothing. And like, it's not even that like, oh, there is like, it's just dry. It's just, you literally feel nothing. And
like just a lump of a vino.
Yeah, it's like just like a lump of like it's just skin. Yeah,
that's
it's
what
just
I'm
skin.
saying. Like, it's just smooth underneath. Yeah.
And like you like take your hand out, like not too quickly because you don't want to offend her, but like you just take your hand out and you're like, like you have no idea how to like ask this question, like, because it's probably like the most like just soul crushing question that she's received from anybody. And David's yawning because he knows this is just an amazing hypothetical. No, but and you ask her, do you not have a vagina? And she gets all red faced. She's just like, no, I don't. Would you still date her?
I would immediately ask her, what happened to it? Did it run away?
That was not the question, David. Would you still date her?
If she did not have a vagina.
Yes.
That's
she was the
wild.
Sweetest girl in the world. But she had no vagina. Absolutely nothing there.
That is probably...
But her mouth still works.
One of the dumbest and somehow difficult hypotheticals you've ever given me.
Well, answer the question. Would you still date her?
If she was just a normal girl, no. If I thought this woman was the love of my life, like my soulmate, I'd be like, okay, let's find some workarounds.
We can make it work.
Let's find some workarounds here. That's what I would do.
Like I said, her mouth still works.
There's also crazy surgery nowadays. Be like, okay, do you want a vagina? Like, wait, I can get you one.
I can get you one.
To spoil it again, that shit happens in Barbie.
She gets asked, do you want one?
Well, no, like, genuine spoilers here, I will say. Okay. The movie ends, she meets her creator eventually. Like, when she's at Mattel, she meets the creator of Barbie. No, not Will Ferrell, he's the CEO. She meets the creator of Barbie, and she doesn't know it's her yet. It's just some old woman.
Like, right? Actually, like, she's still alive, that creator?
No, I don't think it was her. It was played by Helen Mirren, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And what happens is that she has this, like, very, like, holy, like coming of self, like, experience with her. Cause she's like, I'm the stereotypical Barbie. I don't know what to do now that, like, everything is solved. Like, I'm not a doctor. I'm not an astronaut. I'm not any of these things that these other Barbies are made to be. I'm just Barbie. Yeah. And I'm just Ken.
I'm just Ryan Gosling.
What happens is that after the experience that she has with her humans, she chooses to become human. And that's what she does. She goes to the real world, and the story ends with her literally going to see her fucking gynecologist. Because she has a vagina now.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
They just kind of breeze past that. Like, it's like, oh yeah, she has a pussy now. Then
yeah,
goes to see her gyno.
And she's like, and it's like ending, she's getting used to having a pussy. It's really funny. It sounds tacky. It's not. It's fucking. It was done.
You're doing
perfectly.
A very terrible job of selling it to me, David.
Thank you. I'm very self-conscious about how I describe things to people. You stupid jackass. Anyway, to bring that up, only if I truly believed this woman was my fucking soulmate. Like, I can't lose her.
Like the last month was just fucking magic.
This is the best time of my life.
Fireworks.
And if it was just a normal woman that I'm just super attracted to, No. Because then there's no means to an end. I literally can't fuck her.
No.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Very true.
Yep.
And also, if people are going to be saying, like, oh, I don't know, there's like one half of a woman like thing who watched this fucking thing. She like, you know, if you're gonna be like, oh, like that's so crass, like, think, wow, you like, she's meaningless without her pussy. It's like, look, on the flip side, would you date a Ken? Yeah, exactly. That's what I fucking thought.
You can't fuck his abs, girl.
Can't fuck his abs.
You can't put that shit inside.
You can't fuck a lump.
Watch them be like, you know, like my dildo's bigger anyway. Or like it hits the right spots.
Fine, whatever
fine.
Though.
Actually, they can make him wear a dildo, and they'll sort of get the same experience.
Like, yeah, but it's the same for girls who wear like strap-ons, man. It's the same thing.
Yeah. It's not the same. It's a way more violent procedure to try to carve a hole down there with a fucking screwdriver.
Also,
like,
you know, not like, I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm against dildos or whatever, right? But it's just like, if you really break down what a dildo is, you are fucking a piece, like a hunk of plastic.
Well, it also still doesn't feel like a dick.
You might as well shove a G.I. Joe up your fucking pussy at that point. It would be the same fucking equivalent.
It's kind of like fucking a fleshlight, right? It's like, yeah, like it simulates it, but it's not the real thing.
Yeah, but what is the girl gonna do? Like, have the fleshlight where her pussy is, and it's just like, oh yeah, like then go at it. Like,
no, I'm saying that a dildo does not feel the same to a woman. Like it'll hit the right spots, and it can be bigger in a lot of cases because they make those fucking like Shrek ogre sized ones.
Yeah, like the dragon dildo.
Yeah, like the Croco Caco. But the thing is,
venture.
Now, see, the rusty venture is when you take a girl out for a giant like dinner and you don't let her go to the bathroom, right? And so she shits all over your and then you all over her back and then eat it off. That's a rusty venture. Did
they bring back the rusty venture in the movie at all, or no?
No.
Oh!
It's just from the best episode of the show, that's all.
Missed opportunity.
Anyway, the point is, a real dick, like, feels... It feels warm. Like, basically the way a guy fucks a fleshlight, but it doesn't simulate a pussy because it doesn't have the warmth and wetness of a pussy. It's the same thing for women with dildos. It's like, yeah, it hits the right spots, but a real cock is warm. It hits the... It raises the temperature of the pussy even more.
It's still reasonable.
We both got double D's in our science classes, all right? Like, this is how we describe... Imagine you and me describing, like, this is the fucking talk to kids.
Imagine
this
was
sex
like...
ed class. This is our sex ed class.
This was our PowerPoint that we're presenting in class. And, like, we're just trying not to sound like... yeah, like, crass as hell. We're trying to be as scientific as possible, but it's just slowly but surely just becoming more crass as we're talking about it.
Yeah.
But...
I truly, genuinely think that you and I are the two individuals on this planet who are the least qualified to ever do something like that.
Oh,
like, just
absolutely.
to try to explain it.
I would at least want to try.
I would too.
So at least I could say, I will never do this again. But you and I will at least have a fucking hilarious story about it.
Because you're fired.
Because you're fired.
Get the fuck out.
And you have no severance. Get the fuck out of here. But like, what I'm also saying too is that, like, it's the same way why a lot of people who, let's say, have those toys, right? And, like, I'm just speaking about it objectively here. Like, anyone who uses a fleshlight or a dildo to, like, you know, masturbate, right? That's what it's usually made for. It's usually made to masturbate. We still crave the real thing. Like, okay, yeah, like, oh, like, this pussy's more tighter than usual, or, oh, like, this cock is... Or, like, this dildo is just bigger than the ones I usually get. It's like, at the end of the day, it's like, I still want the real thing.
Yeah.
You're not gonna drink, like, oh, let's say, like, Sunny D all day and, like, say, oh, yeah, it's better than orange juice. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't know, that's a terrible fucking analogy, but,
that's
like,
a
at least...
good analogy. That's why I was laughing.
But, like, I don't know, like, at least in my head, it just sounded so, like, fucking, like, elementary school. I was like, oh, it's that orange juice, it's Sunny D. Like, at least that's how I framed it. But yeah, like,
You're not gonna piss in someone's hair and tell them it's shampoo.
But I don't know, like, it's, like, we kind of went off a bit because, like, we were talking about Barbie, and, like, now we're on this hypothetical a little too long. But I don't know, like, it's just, Like, again, I feel as if, like, I think I'm in the same boat as David. It's like, I'd have to really, really, like, almost notebook levels of fucking love you. Like
that rom-com where, like, the guy is dating the girl with a pig nose. Love you.
Yeah, like, and it's just kind of like, in real life, you know that this would never happen, but...
I don't know, man. Truth can be stranger than fiction.
Fair, but... Like, I think if we're just gonna go off of, like, the law of averages, there's probably 1 in, like, 20 million people who just,
that's what that movie was, Dennis.
I
it was
know,
the one
but
in
it's
a
like...
million.
I know, but what are you gonna put on your dating profile? Have a pig nose. Are you into that? I go oink like a pig. like she actually types that out in her fucking bio. Can you imagine that?
Jiggling, wiggling, laughing, tickling, rolling on the ground.
It'd even be funnier too, because, like, you know, like, she says all that, have a pig nose, but she only shows her chest. So I was like, yo, girl, what the fuck? Like, where's the pig nose? Like,
I would just embrace it. I would be like, you know, like these snorts ain't just for snorting. That's disgusting. Oh my god, that was actually really gross. I'm sorry.
That was foul, man.
So point is, I liked Barbie better than Oppenheimer because Oppenheimer was great. I still like that movie. Just not my favorite Nolan movie. I said it last week. It hits too many of the Nolan tropes.
Dark Knight is the best Nolan movie.
I think so. Barbie.
I mean, yeah, objectively.
Barbie made me laugh several times. It was very aesthetically pleasing. It was such a unique film in the way that it was, in the way that its set was designed. I think that movie for sure is gonna win best, like, you know, set design and shit at the Oscar
exactly,
and stuff,
yeah.
for fucking sure. The dialogue was very unique and just superb and funny because, like, again, it was just very unique world building. It didn't make sense at the end of the day, but it acknowledged it didn't have to. Like, it was such absurdism humor to the point where it didn't need to do that, and I fucking love shit that
I like
does
that they didn't restrict themselves on that.
They didn't, like, at all.
How are you gonna have a movie like this not be a Toy Story clone? You do that.
Yeah.
You just go balls to the wall with the absurdism and, like, just kind of let it go free, because at least for, you know, a movie like Toy Story, which is just about, you know, obviously toys coming to life, and Barbie to an extent is kind of in that same vein. I didn't watch it yet. At least I'm just going off of what David has said here. Like, you know,
it's more so that the toy, like, there's a land called Barbie Land that Mattel, like, keeps secret because society would freak out if they knew that, like, the toys were, like, sentient
obviously.
beings, basically,
yeah.
And, like, looked like humans in their own, like, little world and stuff. And there's, like, this, like, unreally described magical connotation that, like, what's happening to them is, like, them being played with in the real, and sort of in the real world in a way that
so it's
makes
like
sense
vicariously kind of like having them, like, oh, whatever you're doing out there, like, it's happening here as well.
like a less restrictive voodoo doll, basically.
Okay.
And that's what that was. And that's when Barbie has that whole shtick, where she's like, you ever think about dying? It's because, like, her owner is, like, depressed and shit now.
Okay.
Not talking to the doll, but is depressed and shit now and is going
also,
through
like,
shit
she
with her
just
own daughter.
kind of hears, like, whatever she's saying to the doll, like,
she
she's
feels
also hearing
it deep down inside.
Okay, so there's, like, a bit of a soul thing.
She goes to the real world and, like, literally is like, how am I going to find this girl? And meditates, and then she sees her, basically. So, yeah, it was cool. It was, like, the reason it was more unique than Oppenheimer is all it was. You know what I mean? That's
fair.
all. That's why it's just my style of movie way more. I feel like.
Oh no, yeah, I'd even stay, like, stylistically. Like, Barbie, I think, obviously is way more, at the very least, more fun looking, and I think that goes a long way, because at least it also depends on, like, the context, because, you know, I'm not saying this like I'm some fucking, like, you know, savant or whatever, but it's just kind of like Oppenheimer knew what movie it was, and Barbie knew what movie it was.
Yeah,
and a Barbie movie, let's say, it'd be hilarious if it was shot in the same way that fucking Nolan's Oppenheimer was. That would have been hilarious, but, like...
Sounds like a shitty SNL sketch. Guaranteed
yeah,
that's
but, like, you know,
but
just a Nolan-esque SNL sketch. Imagine that. It would be funny. I think it would be hilarious.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna be a digital sketch. It's gonna be like Barbie. It's gonna happen. Watch, calling it right the fuck now.
Someone's probably gonna make, like, a music video about, like Barbenheimer, I bet. Like, just, like, bits and pieces of, like, the movie kind of, like, just all spliced together into, like, this shitty music video, and, like, somehow it'll get, like, 20 million views because, you know, it's just, like, the thing. But I don't know, like, as far as, like, I guess, again, this is also coming from a guy who has not watched the movie yet. So, like, all my thoughts are just hyperbole at this point. But I think this movie, if we're going to put it up on the Oscars, I think it honestly deserves, at the very least, maybe not VFX, but at least best set, if that is like an award.
Yeah,
I don't know
best
if it is.
set, maybe best choreography as well, because there's like songs and shit too. It's not a musical, but there's like songs and shit.
Yeah,
sometimes. Yeah. There's that. And it's just one of the many things that's a byproduct of the world that we live in. You know, social media, like warping everyone's perceptions, changing men, changing women, blah, blah, blah. You know, fuck dating pool, whatever. And Barbie can at least poke fun at, can make some comments about that a little bit, because again, like, I just think you really need a certain level of emotional immaturity to watch this movie and think that, like, the message was fuck men and men are terrible.
Or just go in and laugh. Like,
yeah,
Jesus Christ. Like,
if you're like laughing at like Ken being the ridiculous himbo that he is, like, come on, what's wrong with you, man? It's funny as shit. Like,
it's absurd as hell, but that's the thing that flies over people's heads most of the time. They can't take a fucking joke. Half the time, they just can't take a joke. That's all it boils down to, honestly.
Yeah.
I think if you really just break it down, it's just because people are so incapable of taking jokes nowadays. Even the most absurd kind. Like, you know when you hear people say, like...
Go ahead.
Okay. You hear me say some of the most absurd shit ever from a human being. You heard me say some
You just asked me about 10 minutes ago, like, what I would do if I was dating a girl with no genitals.
Yeah. And you've even heard me say, like, you know, like, kind of fairly unhinged shit even before then.
Yeah.
But, like, most of the time, like, you knew I was clearly joking.
Yeah.
But, like, if I said that to other people, they would automatically think, like, oh, yeah, I'm being serious. I was like, oh, is he actually racist? Oh, does he actually hate women? Does he actually, like, you know, sides with Republicans on a lot of issues? Like, it's just, it all just, like, at the very least, the sweep is that everyone just believes that I am not in any way joking. I am 100% serious in everything that I say. And there was a time that, like, obviously you could get away with a lot of jokes like that. At least when I was a bit younger, we said tons of heinous shit. And
Gay
it
was literally synonymous with stupid.
Yeah,
when
being
we
a
were
loser.
In the 6th grade, we literally said, like, oh, that's so gay, that's so fucking gay, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, and shit.
And now
It was a
gays have
different
taken
time.
back the word. They taken back the word.
Words get taken back. That's how it be. That's how it.
Even the, like, and editor, you could censor this one. Even that also, like, then got taken back too.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, to a certain extent, it's still kind of used derogatorily, but it's just like, you know, again, like, it don't got like that same punch as it did, like, at least 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, now, like, okay, like, we fast forward to, like, 2023, and, like, obviously the dynamics between, like, men and women have changed, like, drastically over the last, like, easily 10 years. And, like, the perceptions of each one have also changed. And I think I have to watch the movie for myself. But if the message is from the movie that, at least to tell guys that, like, look, at least the way I always kind of think about it in life is that, look, work on yourself first before you decide to work with someone. Like, because going through life, like, there is a beginning and an end. And, like, most of the time we're all just kind of brought up to think, like, okay, we gotta, like, go through it with somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I want to get married. I want to have kids. Like, I want to, like, have a legacy. Like, you know, stuff like that, right? I know a lot of people couldn't give less of a fuck about that shit, but, like, it's like, that's at least what society has thrown onto us ever since we were young. And to a certain extent, it hasn't really changed too much. But I also do feel that, like, at least for me, like, obviously, I would like a family. I would like a wife. I would like kids, right? But now it's like, you know, at least for, I don't know how to put this in, like, I guess, delicately, but, like, I think the expectations have now changed. And, like, the sort of kind of, not even, like, let's say, relationship expectations, like let's say between a man and a woman, but also just even kind of like society in general. Like for at least a lot of dudes, or at least, just guys in general, like, okay, like we're still kind of, taught, classically speaking, that like, oh yeah, you got to be the breadwinner. You got to be the father. Like, just stuff like that. Like big responsibilities, right? Lofty even. Because being a father is not easy. And, just goes the same with being a mother. But also at least just kind of going where, at least fast forwarding again to where we are now in that context, like the conversation is also different too, I feel. Like we still are taught those things, but at the same time, like I feel as if because let's say men don't have like that very almost like unassailable position in society, like how we did, like let's say decades before, like is kind of maybe the reason why that like a lot of guys like don't like it when let's say movies like this show them in like a absurd way, even though like the movie like portrayed, at least from what you told me, like society in general as absurd. And even just like the whole idea of like having like already predestined expectations for yourself is also absurd. Like with Ken even just like, all being told like, oh yeah, you have to get Barbie. She is your everything. You mean nothing. Like you literally mean nothing in life unless you get her.
Right. It's like, where do those insecurities come from? You know what I mean? Because that's what I feel like a lot of like the, not even men who didn't like the movie, but men who like hate it, who say it's anti-woke.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they praise the Mario movie. Those very same people.
You could not like the movie for your own reasons. Like, no one's saying that. But like, again, if your whole MO for hating the movie is because like you can't take a joke, or at the very least, it's like, first of all, it is a movie. It is not the end-all be-all of your life. And frankly, your lives are bigger than a movie. That's just me.
I'm just saying, like, that ideology is so insanely flawed, because these are the same people, Dennis, who praised the shit out of the Mario movie for, being anti-woke somehow, by being sort of a standard story, and as well as also praising it for fucking, it beat another movie what other movie was out at the same time that they claimed that it beat, like, destroyed in the Disney, because it beat every Disney movie. It made more money than every Disney movie at the time, or some shit like that, besides, like, the Lion King remake or some shit. Beat Frozen, blah, 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 and they're praising it because, like, yeah, destroying the woke machine, yeah. And then the very next day, they're posting their shitty little podcasts and videos and stuff, crying about the fact that Peach does things in it, and that
has
makes
agency.
It woke. The fact that a woman does anything in the movie is enough to be anti-men. You need to realize the problem with it. Like, these are the same people who, instead of hearing the words Black Lives Matter, when they hear the words Black Lives Matter, all they heard were white lives don't.
No lives
when
matter.
That's not what he fucking said. When in actuality, it's what Dennis said. No lives matter. But you see what I'm saying? It's like, it's all just projected insecurities. Yeah. That's what this movie's about. It's about destroying those insecurities. It's here for you. Same people who, like, go off on Terry Crews when he was trying to, like, advocate for, like, men's health and men's rights in Congress and shit like that. And men hate him for it. It's like, why? He's trying to help you. Just lets you know that, like, evolution is very real, Dennis, and some people just need to fucking learn the hard way.
Oh, some people need to just get left behind, too.
Or laid.
I also even think,
laid.
like...
People also need to get laid.
People who care about a lot of that stuff...
I can hear you, by the way.
Okay. People who care a lot about that stuff, like, to the extremes that they do, honestly live, I'd say, a pretty lonely life.
Oh, yeah?
And...
well, it's just trolls and shit. Of course they do.
I mean, yeah, obviously. I even think, like, a lot of people who gave their, like, criticisms about, like, Margot Robbie and even the movie, like, honestly, I guarantee you, 70% of them do not give a shit. Truly. They don't actually have any emotional stake in this movie and what its message is. Nor have they been with
somebody as attractive as Margot Robbie in their life at any point.
Well, of course, but also, like, at least more importantly, just saying that, like, I know for a fact if you are one of those people who like genuinely hate on this movie, I guarantee you're probably one of the several hundreds of millions of like fucking coattail grabbers who like all just kind of like saw that, oh, it was being hated, I'm gonna hate it too. Because that's all it is in the end anyways. Because I know for a fact that wherever you are, either on Twitter or wherever the fuck else, none of you actually give a fuck. Honestly. I know you don't. Like, 70% of you. I'm being generous with that. 70% of you just honestly don't give a shit. I guarantee it. And you're only hating it because, oh, it's just a fun thing to hate because you always have something to talk about in 2 weeks' time anyways. Because once this movie's off the fucking theaters, you guys are going to forget about it. You're not really going to bring it up in conversation again. I guarantee it.
But Dennis, how will they win the culture war then?
How?
Yeah. How are they going to win the culture war if they don't? If they
You
stop
already
talking about
lost
Barbie?
it. You already are losers of that shit.
It's one of those games that the only way to win is to not play, huh?
The only way to win is to basically hate on both sides. That's how you win.
Hate everyone.
Yes.
No matter
Make
what.
your own side. Which is no side at all, really, because you just hate on everybody. It's so much easier to hate on everybody. That's true equality right there.
Oh,
honestly.
Yeah. That's why we stand fucking filthy frank on this
Prejudice
show.
Equality, man.
Everybody
Greatest
gets
fucking
shit.
thing on the world. Everyone gets shit. Even that cripple guy who you know who is in a wheelchair. He gets shit too.
Maybe not as hard as the non-crippled guys.
No, he
but
gets shit.
We give him shit.
Oh,
too.
no, he gets shit. Oh, no, he gets shit. Trust me. You don't think I want to push him down the stairs when he's going too fucking slow?
And with that, we have to go. I am going to the local tonight. I guess I'll talk more about that topic next week.
Damn. This is what happens when you let me go a little unhinged for too long.
I know it is, but I don't want to be
I released the
assertive.
floodgate.
I don't want to be like, oh, Dennis, shut up. Like, and now,
I released
like,
the floodgates. Even if you did try to like close the floodgates, I just bust them open back up, and I'd make.
You'd be like, shut the fuck up, David.
As soon as I make you laugh, that's when I know. Oh yeah, I got free reign now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite episodes are the ones where we like map out the topics like 20 minutes or 10 minutes at a time, but you know, I also love the ones where we like go off on different side topics within one topic. It's just it's natural flowing. Leaning Tower of Pizza. How many times do I have to fucking tell you guys? Come on. That being said, let me know in the comments down below what your favorite Barbie was. Mine was Existential Crisis Barbie.
Or which
was a real thing in the
Ken.
movie, by the way.
Oh, what was your favorite Ken? You know, again, this is coming from a guy who did not watch the movie.
Yeah, was it Asian Ken? Caucasian Ken?
Caucasian, Caucan Ken.
Black Ken?
Blacken. The plugs. Here you go.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. you got to end the topic nice and manly sounding after talking about Barbie the whole time, right?
Or just with some good old indigestion. But yeah, guys, here
You're
is
making some fucking sounds. You know what I mean?
here's some plugs. Here's our manly plugs. The Manly X. Everyone knows the Manly X. You know, nothing's more manly than a fucking letter for a fucking social media platform. Go find us.
He had to take that X down on the building. By the way, they made him take it down.
They made him take it down? Oh, yeah. Fuck. I did not know that.
Yeah, it was fucking Seinfeld episode where they were flashing that shit in the windows. Instagram.
Instagram. You can find us also on many other platforms like Google and Spotify.
Yeah. Leave us good reviews, please.
Yes,
5
leave
stars.
us good reviews. Yeah,
you don't even have to write anything. You
Tell
don't even have
me-
to write anything on Spotify. You literally rate it just by the stars. So just give us 5 stars. It helps.
Tell me in the reviews that the co-host is the most hateful motherfucker on the planet, and I love this guy. Please write that, please. I would love it. It would actually make my day. And say he's also funny. Yeah, you could put that too. He's a funny, hateful man. If anything, just put that. You could put that in there.
Well said, Kenneth.
But yeah, guys, that's our episode for today. We talked about Barbie. Talked about some real social issues out here, and that's usually how it goes.
Just like Barbie.
Just like Barbie. And like, let us also know if you would still also date a girl or a man if they had no genitals.
I'll run a poll.
I was honestly very curious as to like what y'all would do in that situation. But yeah, guys, that was today. And we will see you next week because David will be going off on a trip to lands unknown. And
it's SmashCon. I'll be at SmashCon.
I wanted it to be a surprise.
If any of y'all are listening, no, fuck you. If any of y'all are, be at SmashCon, like, don't hesitate to say hi. It's kind of the worst major to go to if you're not like that active of a competitor anymore. So please, I'm hoping to not get too bored. I'm sure it'll be a fun time, but just come say hi to David, please.
And if you are a fan of the podcast, say that you fucking hate it to him. Yes. To his face.
Yes.
Very loudly.
Put me through my Ken arc.
Yes. Make him want to reestablish the patriarchy as it should have been many years ago.
That's actually what he fucking does in the movie.
I know.
It's insane. Like, he just goes and be like, men rule here? I can do whatever I want.
To be fair, we had it pretty good back then. I mean, objectively. It was a simpler time.
Rest in peace to Kenland, or whatever he called it.
Rest in peace to the 1950s. What a great decade it was.
Oh yeah, threat of nuclear war, all
beat
this
women.
Shit.